Are you sure you want to live on some acreage in the Black Hills, South Dakota? Hey everybody, it's Tristan Emond with Mindful Living Realty, your realtor right here in Rapid City, South Dakota, the gateway to the Black Hills. I know the picturesque scene you're thinking of, the house in the middle of the trees, snow everywhere, the smoke lifting up from the fireplace, and we all just collectively sit back and say, wouldn't that be amazing? You can't see your neighbors, and you're just there all by yourself. And this is a feeling you can't have with a property in the Black Hills of South Dakota. But let's talk about a few extra things you need to consider while having acreage in the Black Hills. For the purpose of this video, we're talking about acreages like over 5 acres that are a little bit further away, not just like 1 acre subdivision just up the street, but bigger acreages where you can't really even see your neighbors, you have a little more privacy. So the first thing we talk about are the roads to get to your property. Probably have a decent blacktop road that gets you somewhat close to your property. But then you could have a mile, 2 miles of gravel road just to get to your property. And since we are living in the Black Hills, probably going to have some hills to go up and down to get to your property, especially if you have one that has a view. And because you're not in the city or off the county main road, chances are you have to figure out amongst you and the neighbors how you're going to take care of that gravel road nearby your property. The county will probably take care of some of them, but your blacktop main roads are going to be first priority for sure. And on top of the road getting to your property, then you're going to have a driveway probably going uphill again to get to your house. That's all on you. And it's probably either going to be a gravel road or a dirt road. There may be a few that have some asphalt driveways, but you're probably looking at gravel a higher percentage of the time. So when the snow falls, you've got to take care of that long driveway. If the goal is to not see your neighbors, your driveway is going to be about a quarter mile so probably to get you into the middle of your lot for the most privacy. So when the snow comes and the ice comes, it'll be up to you to take care of your own driveway. When we have those thunderstorms in the summer, sometimes those can come down pretty good. So that's going to wash out some of your gravel driveway. You're going to have to bring in more gravel, grade the driveway, do all these things to make sure that you have easy access to your property. Speaking of weather-related events, your electricity is coming to you via wires on the poles. So if we have some heavy snow or the wind blows down your power line, if that was a big enough storm, you're not going to be the first one on the list to come get repaired by the power company. They're going to take care of the city first and move outward. So make sure you've got a generator installed on your property or have some emergency measures in place in case the power goes out for an extended period of time and the power company just can't get there as soon as you'd like them to. What about your other utilities? Yeah, you'll have a septic system. That's pretty common around here. Nothing new, too big or crazy or different about that. Just make sure you get it pumped via whatever county regulations are required to make sure that thing is, kept up to date and not leaking, which the county doesn't much appreciate. The well water in the Black Hills can be amazing if you hit the right aquifer. However, some areas, like down Highway 16 around Keystone, it's a very irony water. Not only does it not taste very good, I've seen showers stained rust-colored. Now, there are treatment options to help you take care of that so the water's a little more drinkable, and of course, you can also bring in drinking water for your property. But you might not enjoy the water in the well at your property. If your house has a gas furnace with central air, you're probably going to have a propane tank. And generally, that's not a big deal. Everything's going to operate just fine. But instead of having a monthly payment to like the gas company, you are filling up once or twice a year. So that's a big expense all at once if you're not doing the smart thing and putting money aside every month. Because that's something I wouldn't think about doing. Now, fortunately, my wife does the finances, so we'd be good. And finally, there's the internet. Farther away from a city you get, the worse your options. I know you still want to be out in the middle of nowhere, but yet have your broadband internet connection. Probably not going to work that way. Your choices will probably be a DSL service through the phone company, or one of the satellite internet companies such as Hughes.net. And of course, Starlink is an option as well. But none of these options are going to get you even closer to that 1 gig, 2 gig speed. It'll be adequate enough for you to do what you need to do, but maybe not fast enough if you're a big time gamer, or if you have a business out of your house and you need that strong, dependable internet signal. Might not be the best option for you. We were staying up at Terry Peak in a cabin with just the satellite internet service. And we were watching Netflix on standard definition. We couldn't even load services like Disney Plus, and even scrolling social media sites was an exercise in patience. Depending on where you are, another option might be internet through Verizon or AT&T, basically grabbing their cell signal and using that for your Wi-Fi in your property. Depending on where you are, that might be a great option. However, the more remote you get, the less chance that's going to be an option for you. Getting away from people means you're going to have to to get where you want to go. You're probably going to be 20 to 30 minutes away from the nearest town, the nearest grocery store, the nearest hospital, the nearest whatever, maybe more depending on where you're at. You're probably closer to some of the smaller towns, not Rapid City. Of course, you have your communities such as the gas stations and the grocery stores, but you're not going to be able to things like fast food and Starbucks. That's not something that's going to be readily available in some of the small towns in the Black Hills. Unless, of course, you're talking about Subway. Generally, as long as you plan a little bit, you come to Rapid City every month, go to Sam's Club, stock up, that's not usually a problem. But if you're not that planning person, you're going to spend a lot of time going back and forth to town, getting the things that you may have forgot or wanted later on. And because you're farther out, you're going to be lower on the list for some of your service technicians to come and work on your property. Their electricians, your plumbers, your HVAC guys, if they're keeping busy in town, they're not going to be as interested in running out to take care of your property. Probably a travel fee. It might not be the first thing on their list to go take care of you because of that travel distance. And because you're in the Black Hills, you're in nature. You've got the beauty of nature, but you've also got the animals of nature. Yes, the deer are amazing to look at, but if you're trying to grow a flower or vegetable garden, they're going to come and eat that right up. You could have rodents, you could have spiders, you could have snakes, all the other things that are part of living in nature. Not like you could have those in town as well, but your chances of having them out of town are a little higher. And finally, it ain't going to be cheap. With the increase in popularity of homesteading and people wanting to get away from cities and have a place to their own, prices have gone up in the Black Hills area, including properties with acreage. If you have under $500,000 to spend, your pickings are probably going to be a little slim in the Black Hills area. If you start to get outside of the prairie a little bit, you might find some options there. But we're talking about in the Black Hills where you can't see your neighbors instead of being able to see all your neighbors. Okay, so finally, I was putting this together and I realized I missed an important part that I need to talk to you about. You see different shirt and everything. So next day, here we are talking about the final point, and that is fire danger. You're living in the Black Hills, there's trees all around. There is always potential for fire in your area. Every year is a little bit different. The wet years, usually we don't have as much fire danger as some of the dry years. But some of those dry years, man, every time a lightning storm comes through, everybody's just kind of holding their breath, hoping that we don't have a huge fire in the Black Hills area. So you need to make sure that your home has the defensible space needed, cutting down some of the trees, removing the dead brush, all the things to make sure that your house, your property, isn't a tinderbush for a fire. And because it is classified in a fire zone, you're farther away from a fire station, from a full-time fire station. Insurance is going to look at that as being a high-risk property. So your insurance rates are going to be higher somewhere out in the Black Hills than they will be closer to a fire station in town. If you're watching so far and you're like, yeah, none of this is a big issue, Tristan, what are you talking about? Then you might be the perfect candidate to own a piece of property in the Black Hills. The peace and tranquility of having your own property in the Black Hills, plus any views that you might have, even if all it is a view of the trees around. Such an amazing experience. Plus, then you're the master of your own property. Build a shop, store your RVs, store your boats, grow a garden and a flower bed. If the covenants allow it, have chickens and livestock. So many things available for you when you own your own property. And even though you're remote, you're farther away from town, you do still have neighbors around your area. When natural disasters happen, when challenges arrive, the neighbors in South Dakota pull together and help each other out. So while you might be far away from a lot of services, hopefully your neighbors will step in and help where help is needed. So what do you think? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video about Black Hills living, make sure you watch this playlist and this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Remember, love where you live.